All right, so this set is for example 3. So when you start doing your clicking and pasting on that slide, make sure that this information goes on for example 3. So these are the values that are in that example. First thing you're going to do is list them from least to greatest first. So least to greatest. So smallest number in the data would be 5. So I'm going to put 5 first. I'm going to cross it off. And then I see an 8. And then 11. And then a 13. And then a 15. Sorry, 14. And then my 15. And I always double count. I double check to make sure I haven't left any numbers off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of data are in this set of numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this set of data has 6 numbers, which is an even number. So I did that on purpose. So example 1 has an odd number and example 3 has an even. So you'll see it's going to change just a little bit when we get to median. So we're going to do the hardest one first. The mean is when you add them all up and you divide. Mean, just think about it. It makes you do the most work. So that's why it's the mean. It's the meanest because you got to do more work for it. So you're going to add everything up together. So I'm going to do a couple at a time. So 5 plus 8 would be what? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13, and then 13 plus 11. 13 plus 11 would be what? 24. And so we have already done those 3 numbers, so now I'm going to add 13 to it. So plus 13. 4 and 3 is 7. 2 and 1 is 3. And then I'm going to add 14. So 7 and 4 is 11. 3, 4, 5. And then add the 15 in there. 51 plus 15, 1 and 5 is 6. And 5 and 1 is 6 again. So our total is 66. But remember, you got to add them and then divide by how many numbers are in your data. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers in our data. So you're going to take the sum, which is 66, and you're going to do 66 divided by 6. 6 can go into 6 one time. 6 can go into 6 one time. So our mean is 11. Our median is our middle value. So that's when you cross off the biggest and the smallest, biggest, smallest, but now you're left with those 2 numbers in the middle. So our median would be right between those 2. So this one's kind of easier because, okay, there's only one number that could go between those 2, but I want to show you if there's like a big gap, like let's say that was 11 and this is 50 and you don't know what number would be exactly in the middle, you're just going to add the 2 numbers together. So you're going to do 11 plus 13, and that would be 3 and 1 is 4, 1 and 1 is 2, and then you would divide it by 2 because you're trying to find the mean, really the average of the 2 middle numbers. So 24 divided by 2 is 12, which we already knew the only number between 11 and 13 would have been 12, at least the only whole number between there. So the median is 12. So the mode, remember the mode means most often occurring in the data set. So the most popular number in the data. Is there anything that's repeating itself? 5, 8, 11, 13, 14, 15. There's nothing that's repeating itself here. So if there's nothing repeating itself, you would put none or no mode. Don't put 0 because that would mean that there's 0 repeating over and over in the data. Like if I had 0, 0, 0, then it would be the mode. If I had one more 5 here, 5 would be my mode. Now we're going to go to range. So range is, what is the range of the data? So greatest minus the smallest. So you're going to take 15 and subtract your 5 from it. So 15 minus 5 is 10. So So that's our mean, median, mode, and range for this set of data. So the next part that you would be doing for the example later on is you're going to create a dot plot. So for this set, I want to show you two different ones, one where you put all the values and one where you only put the numbers that are in your data. So the first one, I want my numbers to be just the numbers that are in my data. So I'm going to write 5 on my dot plot, 8, 11, 13, 14, and 15. So I'm only putting my data numbers, because on the other example, I put in all the numbers so you could see all of the gaps. So if I did it down here, just so you could see the difference on what it would look, they're both correct, by the way. So I would have to list the numbers between 5 and 15. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So these are going to represent the same piece of the same data. So I would have one dot at 5, one dot at 8, one dot at 11, one dot at 13, one dot at 14, one dot at 15. So this dot plot would represent this information. It looks a little bit different than the other one that we did. Now, if I use this one, it's going to look a little different because there's going to be gaps. That's the only difference that you're going to see. So I'll have one dot at 5, one at 8, one at 11, one at 13, one at 14, and one at 15. So you're going to choose which way do you want to display your data, because the question that you're going to have to display, or the data you're going to have to display, is the ages in your family. So you're going to try and collect at least 5 people's ages in your family, and then you're going to display your data. But it could be a lot of people's ages. It could be a baby's age. It could be grandparents' age. That's a big gap. So if there's a big gap and you want to only put the numbers that are in your family, that's fine. If you want to put all of them, that's fine too. It's just going to be a really big number line. So keep that in mind, okay? All right, so hopefully you feel a little bit more comfortable with mean, median, mode, and range and dot plots.